Jensen, welcome.
Thank you.
Season 14.
Yeah.
Do you and Jared have a conversation each season where you're like, do we want to do this again? Can we do this again? Or is it just sort of like, until someone tells you to stop, you keep going?
Right. It's like, do we need to create a safe word? There have been those conversations. And they were never conversations that we thought we would ever need to have or get to have. But when you have an audience that we have, and you have a network that supports you the way that ours does, and you have a studio that supports you the way that ours does, you kind of look around you and you're like, wow, this is a fast-moving train that doesn't seem to have a stop ahead of it. So we do have those conversations, and to date, there has never been an end to that conversation that has finality in it, because I think we do still truly enjoy doing the show. It's not mundane. It's not repetitive. It's not boring to us at all. We still enjoy telling these stories. We still think the writing that our writers are producing are on par, if not better, than what we've been doing for the last 13 years. And as long as that continues, and as long as we still feel like it's fresh and we're energized to show up on set every day, then I don't know why we would curb that.
Does it re-energize you when there are twists like Dean being possessed by Archangel Michael, and you're essentially playing a completely different character now when you start the new season?
Yeah, 100%. In fact, it's been almost a daunting challenge. Jared's had an opportunity to play different characters, and he's gotten to play an angel. He's gotten to play Lucifer. He's gotten to play, which is also an angel. He's gotten to play these different characters, and not just different variations of Sam Winchester. Whereas Dean has only played different variations of Dean, and so this was. And I hadn't thought about that until the script came down the pipe, where it was Michael was going to take possession of Dean's vessel, and then I realized that this was uncharted territories, which I didn't realize that we had any of those left after 13 years. But here we are, starting season 14. I'm playing a different character within the same show that I've been playing for the past 13 years. And I was a little nervous, and I wasn't quite sure the direction that I wanted to take this particular character, even though it has a little bit of backstory. So I talked to Andrew, our showrunner, and got a little insight, and he basically was like, "You're fine, do your thing." And so I did, and we're finishing up the first episode, and the feedback has been good. It's been like, hey, let's do a little bit more of this, and it's been more feedback than I've gotten in the last 13 years. So whatever I've been doing as Dean hasn't needed much coaching apparently, but whatever I'm doing as Michael is needed a little bit more molding, which is great, because for me it's like this new project within the project that I've already been a part of for so long.
Can you tease how long you will be playing this new character?
The character stays around longer than the audience will assume. Let's put it that way.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Not just the character, not like saying, oh, the character's going to jump vessels or something like that, but the character, me playing the character, will stick around longer than I think people are anticipating.
Fans want to know if Sam is going to save Dean. And is he going to make a valiant effort?
Yes. I think Sam takes a bit more of a leadership role in getting the group together to find and help and save Dean. So that's kind of a bit of a role reversal for him, as he's really taking on the leadership role of getting everybody together, whereas Sam usually is kind of like, let me do my thing. I'm going to go off this way, and I'm going to figure this out. Mm-hmm. And Dean is a little bit more of like let's get the cavalry together and go fight these people. Sam is certainly kind of jumping into that role and having to dive in head first in leading the charge to find Michael and save his brother. And so you're going to see that right out of the gate.
Are you going to direct this season?
I'm not lined up to direct this season as of yet. I won't say no just yet, because there's a few slots left, and even though it's logistically difficult to have me direct during the season, it's not impossible. So we'll see. The ship hasn't sailed yet.
So you're doing 20 episodes this season instead of 23, which you've been doing for a while now.
Yeah.
What is there a story behind the shaved off 3 episodes?
Well, we originally started with 22, which is pretty much industry standard. If those of you can remember, way back when the writers went on strike, we lost, I think it was 6 episodes that season, and I believe in an effort to recoup that lost content, we would add an episode onto the season. Adding 6 onto a season would have been just murderous. That's just too long of a season. And so we added one on the following season, and then the following season, and that just kind of came. They were like, listen, if you guys can create that much content in one season, then we're going to sell it. So so we kind of got stuck with the 23 format. And I think that was when, going back to what we were talking about earlier, when Jared and I sit down and we talk about, do we want to do this? Do we want to continue doing this? It's not about the things that it's usually about, I think, when these kind of conversations come up. It's like, oh, I want more money, or I want a bigger trailer, or I want this or that, the conversation is quality of life. We both have families. It's a little bit more of how can we make our work-life balance a little better. And shaving a couple episodes off gives us a lot more time. It gives us almost an extra month out of our year, which when you only get about 2.5 month hiatus, that goes by really quickly. And who knows, if it's like all of a sudden we don't feel like we've run a marathon by the end of the season, we're actually still pretty energized, then it's like, hey, I could do this for another several years. This is, I think we just found the pocket here. It's still giving, the network and the studio enough content to do what they need to do. But I think it's just pulling it back just a little bit to give us a little reprieve.
Seems fair.
I think so.